have demonstrated a little bit about what you can do with Power Apps and how quickly and easily you can create applications for SharePoint from Excel. Remember, there are more than 300 different services and applications that you can connect to from Power Apps. And if you're ready to learn more, we're ready for you. Power Automate used to be called Microsoft Flow, and that's appropriate because we use Power Automate to create automated workflows. Power Automate is typically used to connect two or more services. For example, we will be building a workflow that will connect Outlook to OneDrive. In this workflow, whenever I receive an email that includes an attachment, our workflow will save that attachment to OneDrive. And I can also use workflows for other purposes to synchronize files between two different file stores or automate a wide and growing variety of business processes, from simple automations to very complex workflows run over weeks, months, or even years. There are different types of flows. Automated flows perform a task after an event happens. That event is referred to as a trigger. In our example, when I receive a new email that has an attachment, that's a trigger. So when an email comes in, the automated flow that's watching Outlook is triggered and performs the task of taking the attachment and saving it in OneDrive. But I also have tasks that I want to perform on a schedule. Perhaps at 4 p.m. every Friday, I need to update a field in a SharePoint list. I can do that with a Power Automate scheduled flow. The third type of flow is a business process flow, which would be most familiar to folks who are Dynamics 365 users. Business process flows guide multi-step processes, for example, when a salesperson is making a sale. There are a series of sales phases that must be completed, and each phase has specific steps that need to be done. That set of phases with its steps is a business process flow, which you can create and edit in Power Automate. The fourth type of flow is a user interface or UI flow. User interface flow or UI flows do something very different than the other flows. What they most remind me of is a macro recorder in Microsoft Word. You see, there are more than 300 connectors available for the Power Platform, but your organization may have software like applications developed in-house for which there is no connector and for which a connector would likely never be built. So how do we capture or enter data in these legacy systems? With a UI flow, we can record and then play back a series of steps using the user interface of a legacy software rather than needing to redesign that software in total. There are two specific types of automated flows that I want to hold up here. Approval flows are automated flows that are usually triggered by a user, often for Microsoft 365 applications. An example of an approval flow is sending a document to your manager for approval or putting in a request for time off. Anytime you have a flow where the result is that something can be approved or rejected, it's probably an approval flow. And finally, button flows are also automated flows, but the event or trigger in a button flow is that you push a button like a button on your mobile device. And you can do some really cool things with button flows that automate your repetitive tasks. As you can see, workflows and Power Automate aren't all one thing. There's a diverse set of flows that you can create for your needs or your organization's needs using Power Automate.